Small cars are big business, not just in South Africa but around the world. Hyundai's little i10, launched earlier this decade, has sold over 47,000 units. Between them in 2017 alone, the i10 and big brother Grand i10 sold over 8,000 units. So it's no wonder that with the current discontinuation of the i10, Hyundai wanted to fill the gap by beefing up its Grand i10 range with some new models and added features.
It's a very big segment in the market, probably the biggest segment in the market, so you need to do volume there if you want to have a good market share in our country. So it's probably in priority, probably first or second for us in our lineup.
Owning 10% of this market last year was not quite enough for Hyundai. They want to double that. They're hoping to entice more buyers by boosting the spec in the car, including things like rear park assist, daytime running lights, new wheels and a revamped infotainment system, amongst a host of other additions. The 1.1-litre engine from the i10 has been replaced by a more fun-to-drive 1-litre in the Grand i10 to complement the current 1.25 power plant. And it proved its mettle on the launch.
I like the engine and I like the gear changes, the overall feeling of quality, solid on the road, very little wind noise, engine noise. I was really overall very impressed with the package.
I don't know whether it's necessarily new because it's almost an evolution of the previous model. We weren't driving the 1 litre, the previous one was a 1.1, this was the 1.2 we were testing. But just overall, same engine, just the drive was so much nicer, smoother.
Grand i10 is a bigger car than the i10, and we've also increased the specification levels versus the i10 in the new Grand i10. We've got some standard small specifications, things like height adjustable seat belt, height adjustable driver's seat, which not a lot of the competitors have in the segment, and that makes a massive difference to your comfort when you're driving the car. So we've looked at small standard specifications that sets us apart from the competition.
The one thing that stood out for me in terms of new was the interior. It seems a lot funkier than it was in the past, especially the model that we drove today, the two-tone interior, that really struck me as new.
It's spacious, and it's practical, it's well equipped. I would still like to try the 1 litre out there because apparently that's where all the value is in the range. I mean, that starts at about 149, so I'd still like to drive that before I really sort of come to any conclusions. But yeah, the 1.2, a bit pricey at 200 grand, but you are getting a fair amount of car for your money.
For a 1.2 motor, 64 kilowatts I think it is, it keeps up with the rest of the traffic, and in fact if you're not careful it goes beyond the rest of the traffic, cruising very comfortably on the speed of 130, I think it's 3,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM. It makes for a very, very pleasant drive. Limited wind noise, tire noise is non-existent. So as a family vehicle, it's the type of vehicle that you could comfortably get in and travel to Durban, whereas the previous one I would have questioned whether I'd want to do that.
Considering that we drove most of the way in the rain and the roads were very waterlogged, the handling was very impressive.
What really impressed me on this ride and drive we just had now was just how solid it feels. I mean, the build quality is just it's incredibly well put together. The materials are, they're decent by class standards. And also how willing this little 1.25 engine is. The ride quality is possibly a little bit on the firm side, but it's not uncomfortable or anything. You can live with it.
Yeah, look, in terms of the market, it's about affordability, especially in your entry-level hatch market. Most people aspire to drive a new car, so you need to give them an affordable option that they can afford the monthly payments to get into that first new car. And I think we've done that with a 1 litre at the starting price of 149,900.
When I look at the competitors that's proposed by Hyundai, I think pricing and the value for offering that you get, everything standard, it really makes it very good. Plus, of course, you add to it a service plan, which in today's terms, even though you're paying for it in the purchase price of the vehicle, guarantees that for a period of 2-3 years, you're not going to have any unforeseen costs. And with a warranty of 7 years, really that's what you want to buy, peace of mind. And I think Hyundai have got it on the nail by offering that.